windows and see the destruction of America.
That's right.
See America on fire. All right. Now you mentioned Revelation.
Yeah, Revelation. That is, I think it's 15:1.
Yeah, Revelation 15:1.
It's just the proof, you know. That's the proof that the chariots have windows in them. I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean that all of them have to have windows in them. You know, you have different ones, but you know, the ones especially the ones for deliverance, they're gonna have the windows.
That's right.
That's part of the fulfillment of the prophecy. Only with thine eyes shall I behold the reward of the wicked.
That's right. That's right. You said 15:1.
I think it's 15:1, or verse 2, or is it 14:1 and 2?
Might be 14. Let's see.
Yeah, it has to be 15:1. Maybe the second verse.
Yeah, well, Revelation 15:1. I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up the wrath of the Heavenly Father. That plague is the missiles, the nuclear missile, which is the final plague. And I saw, as it were, a sea of glass, which the sea of glass represents the firmament, mingled with fire. That's the nuclear missiles exploding in the firmament.
Right.
And them that had gotten, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast.
Right.
Those are the ones that's going to be delivered. Those are the ones that Isaiah spoke about, that were as doves to the windows. All right?
Yep.
And over his image and over his mark, what is that? The chip?
That's right.
His image and his mark, which is the chip, and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass. Now, how are they able to stand on the sea of glass, which is the firmament? They're going to be in those chariots, which is going to be above the firmament. All right? Because to escape the destruction of the nuclear missiles, you will have to be above the firmament.
That's right.
Right? Stand on the sea of glass above the firmament, having the harps of the Heavenly Father. Right? So.
Yeah, and they sang praises unto the Lord. Why? Because they saw the destruction of America.
That's right. That's right.
Proves that those chariots got windows in them.
That's right. Yep, that's right, brother. Okay, now let's go back to Ezekiel 17th verse. When they went upon their 4 sides, and they turned not when they went. As for their rings, they were so high and they were dreadful, and their rings were full of eyes round about them 4. So we told you what the eyes represent. They represent the windows. And when the living creatures went, the wheels went by them. And when the living creatures were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up. In other words, the vision is, you see the angels and the chariots are right next to them. Either they're hovering above them or right next to them. But they were with them. The chariots, in other words, the angels came to Ezekiel and the chariots came along with them. Yep. All right? So you get the vision. And whatever the angels did, the chariots did.
That's right.
All right?
Wherever they went, the chariots
Wherever they went, the chariots went. What is that? An example of power. That's what it's all about. All right? Hey, when America is destroyed, that's what? An example of the Most High's power.
That's right.
You think after America is totally wiped out, the people ain't gonna know who did that?
Yeah, hey, well,
what his name is that did that destroyed this place?
That's right. Yeah, that's why when we got delivered out of Egypt,
his name was magnified.
Yeah, his name was magnified. All them nations knew what took place and who did it.
Yeah. A good example is Rahab. She said, look, we have heard what the Lord have did for you.
That's right.
That's why she was so quick to accept those spies, Joshua and Caleb. She said that. She said, look, we have heard what the Lord have did for you people. We're afraid of you.
That's right.
You know? So that's going to happen again. The white man, the so-called white man, you're going to learn to fear us, boy. All right? You know, right now you make fun of us, you call us all kind of names, but when you see the power of the Lord, what he's going to do for us, you're going to learn to fear us. And that's what it's all about. We want you to be afraid of us. We want you to be terrified of us.
We're going to learn you.
You're going to learn your place, boy. I'm talking about you so-called white people. And not just you so-called white people, all you fucking nations. Every last one of you. You East Indians, you Chinese, you Japanese, you Arabs.
All you heathens.
You Africans, you dirty, stinking Africans. You too. All right? Whithersoever the spirit was to go, they went. Thither was their spirit to go. And the wheels were lifted up over against them, for the spirit of the living creature was in the wheels. In other words, the chariot and the angels were joined together spiritually. Wherever the angels went, the chariot went. They were in unison. They were in one accord.
Yep.
All right. When those went, these went. This is the 21st verse. When those went, these went. And when they stood, these stood. And when those were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up over against them. Like I said, they were in unison, right? For the spirit of the living creature was in the wheels, and the likeness of the firmament upon the heads of the living creature was as the color of terrible crystal, stretched forth over their heads above.
That's the firmament.
That's right. And under the firmament was their wings straight, the one toward the other. Every one had two, which covered on this side, and every one had two, which covered on that side, their bodies. And when they went, I heard the noise of their wings, like the noise of great waters. Oh, imagine that, man.
Flapping.
Flapping, yeah, the wings flapping. All done to show power. As the voice of the Almighty, the voice of speech as the noise of an host. When they stood, they let down their wings. And there was a voice from the firmament that was over their heads, when they stood and had let down their wings. And above the firmament that was over their heads was the likeness of a throne. The likeness of a throne, which represent what? The Most High. The Most High's throne. And on that throne was the Most High was sitting.
Yep.
On that throne.
They tell you about that throne in Revelation, the 20th chapter. It speaks about that great white throne.
Yep.
It's the Most High's throne.
Also Revelation, the 4th chapter. Also Isaiah saw the same throne, the same vision.
Yep.
Isaiah, the 6th chapter.
Yep.
All right. Damn bugs, man. Anyway, reading on. Let me see.
It was 26.
26th verse. And above the firmament that was over their heads was the likeness of a throne, as the appearance of a sapphire stone. And upon the likeness of the throne was the likeness as the appearance of a man above it. Yeah, well, like I said, the Most High. And I saw as the color of amber, as the appearance of fire round about within it, from the appearance of his loins even upward, and from the appearance of his loins even downward. And I saw as it were the appearance of fire, and it had brightness round about it. So basically it's the aura of the Heavenly Father. All right, the aura. Ezekiel saw the aura of the Heavenly Father. The majesty of the Heavenly Father, the aura of the chariots, the aura of the angels. And this was all done to bring Ezekiel a message, so that he could go to the children of Israel.
That's right.
To teach them. As you go into the following chapters, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, this was all done to give him a message, so he could go to the children of Israel. But it was all, this was written for our learning and for our
example,
exhortation, for our exhortation, to lift us up,
right?
Lift our spirits up. When you read something like this should lift up your spirit, man.
Yeah.
Like, wow, man, the power of the Lord, and also to show us the power of the Lord.
That's right.
The power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai.
That's right.
What kind of power that we worship.
Yeah.
And for a great power like that to have that mercy on us, like this,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because back then Jake was deep in the Babylonian Empire, in the captivity.
Right.
So the Lord was showing Ezekiel his power, let him know, look, at any time I could deliver you whenever I want to.
That's a good point. I was just thinking that. Yep, that's right. That's right, man. And then, again, we can take this example and read it and apply it to now.
That's right.
You think a great power like this can't deliver us from the so-called white man? Can't smash the so-called white man?
That's right.
How's the Air Force able to deal with a great power like that?
They can't. They tried. I'm sorry. They tried to shoot that chariot out the sky in space, and they missed.
How is NORAD going to be able to deal with something like this, man? And that's why it's written.
That's right.
But it's not given to everybody. It's not given to every Israelite. Every Israelite ain't going to pick up this and read this and get what you're getting from it now.
That's right.
All right, the 27th verse. And I saw as the color of amber, as the appearance of fire round about within it, from the appearance of his loins even upward, and from the appearance of his loins even downward. And I saw as it were the appearance of fire, and it had brightness round about. Again, the glory, the aura. The last verse, 28th verse, as the appearance of the bow that is in the color in the day of rain, so was the appearance of the brightness round about. This was the appearance of the likeness of the glory of the Lord. See? And when I saw it, this is Ezekiel, when I saw it, I fell upon my face, and I heard a voice of one that spake. And as you read on into the 2nd chapter, it's going to tell you what that vision was all about. And the Lord was getting ready to give Ezekiel the word so he could go and teach the, teach the Israelites. Only those that would listen to, the elect that was back then, because we knew the whole nation wasn't going to listen anyway, no matter what he told. Yeah, and then that was a like when the last verse you just read, that was a multicolor, or the spectrum, of all them colors that Ezekiel saw. Is also likened unto that chariot that Zechariah saw, that was like a crown with all different type of stones on it. Right. That's that majesty. Yep. A crown like you said, like a ancient king's crown full of rubies. That's right. And sapphire stones, and and from afar when you look at it, it sparkled. That's what those chariots look like. They really look like a crown, because they're round and they radiate just like a crown. Yep. So basically that's it, brother. Ezekiel, the 1st chapter, it really was a vision. To sum it up in one word, it was a vision that Ezekiel saw of the great power and the great majesty of the Lord. Yahweh Bashem Yahshua. Yeah, so that was it. Ezekiel, the 1st chapter. Like I said, basically it was a majestic vision that Ezekiel saw in the spirit of the glory of the chariots, the glory of the angels, and most importantly, the glory of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. And he wrote down what he saw. And, that's supposed to uplift us. Yep. That's supposed to make us feel good in this captivity. The same way, and Elder Ramlab made that observation, the same way Ezekiel saw that vision and it uplifted him in the Babylonian captivity. And that was the Lord's way of saying, look, anytime I could deliver you, see the great power? That's right. The same way what we read is supposed to uplift us, And like I said, how is the so-called white man's army going to deal with a power like that? How is NORAD, which they're always boasting about NORAD, how is NORAD going to be able to deal with that? Or the Air Force? Did not the so-called white man say nothing can stop the U.S. Air Force? Isn't that what he said? That's what he said. So how is the U.S. Air Force going to deal with a power like that? Majestic angels with wings, angels hovering, chariots hovering right behind them, or right in front of them, or right over them. Right. That's what we read here in Ezekiel, the 1st chapter. So basically with that, this is GMS Walk and Talk. And we'll see you. This was a request for the brother. Hopefully it edified you, brother, and all you other brothers out there in GMS land. We'll see you in the next lesson from GMS Walk and Talk. Shalom. Shalom.